Yes, Gubane.
Oh, Tinjani, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm good.
All right, good. Here is
Right.
Sue. Sue is joining us as well.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
Morning.
All
Hi,
my friends sitting in
Sue.
front of me. Hi, Julie.
How
Lungelo.
are
Well done.
you? Long time.
I know. I'm well. Everybody looks so happy. How are you,
We
everyone?
are very happy to
We are very good.
I laughed at Elaine calls herself Mama Elaine. Remember, I'm
Yes.
not Gorko Sue.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, very fine. Very fine.
I've been teaching my grandchildren with Zoom. I've got one in grade 5 and one in grade 7. And I realized how lucky we are doing FET, I tell you. It's much easier.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. I tried to teach my grade 12 learners using Zoom, but only 2 of them were present because I have a WhatsApp group with them. So I told them to install Zoom to their phones. Only 2, so others complained about the data and all those things. Yeah.
That's the problem with our kids.
Well, I mean, it's a problem with everybody. I mean, my kids can do it. They also do Zoom at school. You know, the school does it as well, but they're in the Cape, and that's different down there. You know, yeah. Okay, Gale, what are you doing, Simon? Are you having?
Hi, Sue. Just getting my bits and pieces together. How are you?
Well.
Good.
You're fine, ma'am.
Oh, good. Hello, Lungelo. Thank you so much for doing this.
Okay.
Have we got anybody else coming yet?
Currently, there's no one in the waiting room.
They're coming. They're coming, believe me.
Yeah. Okay.
They are late. Sue will kill them.
Here, here's Simpiwe and Juliet. Yes. Wow. I hope Gugu Sabisi gets herself organized. Yeah. Well, we can just see how everybody is at the moment and chat a bit.
Yeah.
Juliet, how's GHS?
It's good. It's actually very lovely. I've been enjoying it so far. And interesting online teaching. We've been doing it with Zoom and Google Meet, but mainly Google Meet because our school is a Google class, it's a Google school. So we use Google Meet for online lessons with the kids. And it has been lovely, and attendance hasn't been bad. We are looking at about 70% of the class coming in. So it hasn't been bad. Yeah.
That's
but
good.
So far, so good.
Okay.
So, how is your school after losing your teacher and having that whole taxi thing? How are you?
Things are getting better now. Yeah. Because we went to the funeral 2 weeks back, so now we are now a bit better, and we are waiting for the new teacher the department is going to give us. Yeah. So with the work, we are pushing. We are trying the kids at home. I'm using WhatsApp a lot. I'm creating videos, using the PowerPoint, the video from PowerPoint, then send to them. Yeah. So even though we have a challenge with the attendance, that's our main problem, because you find that maybe I will get 20% this day, tomorrow I get another 20%. They don't come together at the same time. Yeah, they are complaining of data and so forth. So that's the main challenge. Yeah, but what I've seen is that they are not used to this type of learning. So we need to gradually get them into the process. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
And also involve the parents as well. They must be responsible for the education of their children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How are the parents reacting to it? Do they see it as useful, or do they get upset when they have to buy data for them?
It's only few parents do respond to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only few, and those few, they like it because they understand the use of the technology. They understand the importance of learning during this pandemic. But some, they don't even respond, so you don't know what is happening back there. Yeah, so that's the problem. But you try to communicate with them, even writing letters to them, you find only that they don't respond at all. So that's the problem. Yeah.
It's quite sad that they take so little interest.
Yeah. But I've done. I've given each learner a copy, which is a pledge. So they submitted it to their parents as well. Most of the parents committed to support their learners with data in the comment that they wrote. So I think they meant it when they said so. But the attendance of the learners and participation in the groups is not in the level that I would want it to be. So there is still a long way to go in terms of the online learning. And what is worrying me is that these learners next year they'll be in a different world, which will need them to be independent. So they need to be prepared now, otherwise it will be a mess for the rest of their lives.
And even the universities are using online
exactly,
now.
Exactly.
So as they are starting now, they will get used to it, and when they get there, they'll be good for the outside world.
Yeah.
Don't you think most of the parents and the kids would if they could, but they can't, and they just don't understand? They would if they could, if it was easy for them. That's where I come from. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is that sometimes it's lack of information. Like when I started with the GHS online, the numbers were not very good because most of them was like, oh, ma'am, we don't have data and all those things. Sometimes people just don't understand that there are many ways that you can, like, for example, I'll give an example, to do a lesson and the children don't show their videos, like what we are doing now. You don't use a lot of data for that lesson. So as long as they don't show their faces, they only put the video on when they want to respond. The amount of data that is used is a little bit less. So let's say I want to start a lesson. You might not do it every day. You can say maybe 3 times in a week. So if you're going to do it 3 times in a week, make sure that you explain to them that before your lesson, if you have got Vodacom, you can go on to Vodacom and buy about 1 gig for an hour data of 8 rand, you see? And then they use that 1 gig to get into your lesson. And then with that 1 gig, it will be enough for the next 1 hour, because I've been timing and looking at data. For an hour, you need about 1 gig if you are showing your videos. But if you are not even showing your videos, you need about 700 megabytes or so for you to finish maybe an hour's lesson. And those that cannot come at that particular point, you now say, because you are recording your lesson, right? Soon after, encourage your children to have emails, because obviously they are going to be having emails at university. So the first thing, let's get them to have email accounts. And then soon after, when the Zoom finish recording, when it sends to you, you now label it and whatever, and then you email to them, so that those people that couldn't be in your lesson, they can still now watch your lesson at their own pace, you understand? And it's actually much better use a video because you can rewind, you can stop, you can listen again to what the teacher is saying. So I found that so many of my girls prefer using a video more than even coming to my lesson. Although I encourage most of them to come to my lesson. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing. So they can use their phones to do this.
Lungelo, are you recording this?
Yes, I'm recording everything.
Good. Because a number of teachers have said they're teaching this morning or they are traveling, and I assured them that they would be able to watch this again because we're going to put it up on YouTube.
That's good.
Okay.
Juliet, thank you for all that. That was really very informative. And I hope that other teachers will listen to it. Okay, who have we got coming in now? I saw Lloyd wave a hand.
Yeah, as well.
That's another rule we need to give the kids. Your mics must be muted, all of us, when you're teaching or when you're in a meeting. Why? Because it has got that noise background that comes.
Yeah.
You won't hear properly. So when you come in, everybody must actually mute, and you unmute when you're about to talk. You only unmute when you're about to talk. The moment you finish talking, you must mute so that everybody can hear well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good day, everybody. Greetings. Just a little contribution on the usage of the data. They have asked, the learners, me if I could record and send them the videos. So what I'm doing is I make a little video like Gobane was saying, using PowerPoint on Zoom. I'm actually having a meeting with myself and I'm recording everything, a little lesson. Then when I send them that little lesson, they're saying it's much cheaper for them to download that and keep that than for them to sit and watch me do it. So that's another way of getting around it on top of what you guys are doing. Otherwise, thank you so much for these ideas. We never stop to learn.
Thank you, Makoromore.
Can I come in? With what you said, I think, sorry, I talk too much. It's actually a very good point because I've noticed that videos have been working for our kids. But what we have done is GHS, which most of you guys can also do. What I can do is I'll ask our IT manager how they applied to the department. You can apply to the department to have what is called zero-rated data, okay? Because we are an educational institution. Okay, so I'll find out what forms did they use to apply for that. So when your school applies for it to the Department of Education, they send it to Vodacom, Celsi, all these network providers in our country. And what they will do is that they will zero rate everything that is educational. So you create like a site. So it's called a Moodle. So you create like a Moodle where when you teach your maths, you put your videos there. Then your children in the school will link there and they don't need any data to download. It's for free. So you can just do like what Simon was saying. You record your videos. That's what we have been doing. You put them on the Moodle. Then when you send on WhatsApp, you just tell them, lesson on factorization is on the Moodle. Go and check it and do exercise 5 and 6 in Mind Action Series. You see? And then the next you are marking that. So I will find out and then send to Elaine the forms that you need to have. Then maybe she can send them because most schools in Maritzburg have done that. And it's much, much easier because the children will not need data to access your recordings. It will be for free actually, and it will help a lot of schools.
Juliet, we've actually got those forms, and you have got to have a Moodle platform set up first. So that is what the teachers that are listening need to first try and do. And I think that could be quite difficult for some because of where the school is. However, we are also looking towards changing our website to the Hilton one. And then on top of that, we are hoping to make a Vula Moodle site and then apply for that to be data rated. It takes time. I'm working with Alan and Ian down in the IT department. And so that then what we put onto our website and onto our Moodle will then be able to be accessed by our teachers, our Vula teachers, for free. And I've already had some material in from Simpiwe, which is a really good lesson. We talked about it, and he's going to talk about it later. But I think this whole discussion now is very fruitful, and it's really great to have input from people who are trying things and to know how they work. And Juliet, we thank you for that. I've had so many conversations with you on the phone, and they've been really, you're so enthusiastic, and that's what we need. We need expertise and enthusiasm. So thank you for your contribution. And little things like, I'm looking at your pictures now, and I'm not looking at my camera, so I can see my eyes are not looking straight at you, which is a bad thing. So we all need to have tips that we can pick up and we can learn from each other. But we're definitely following up on that, on the Moodle story and the data-free rating. Thank you for that. And thank you that you're able to share with us and tell us what works for you. Yeah.
One last thing to share for those that want to invest in, but you have to pay for it, unfortunately, okay? When you are teaching online, let's say you're using Zoom. Zoom gives you that whiteboard, isn't it? Where you can write.
Yes, yes, yes.
So with the whiteboard,
it does.
it's much easier. I use, hopefully you can see, I now have 2 devices, all right? So you can buy this by yourselves, okay? So this one is a Mimeo, but the Mimeo is a little bit more expensive. So I plug it to my computer and then I write. So it is a pen. So I'll be writing and everything that I write will be seen there. So if you want, yes, I can present so that you can see me writing with it, right? But this one is a little bit expensive. Then later on, somebody referred me to a cheaper version, okay? So the school now ended up buying this one for us. It's actually much cheaper, all right? You can also write with it, okay? So there it is, it's a pad, all right? You can buy it. Is
that just your ordinary tablet or pad? Because that's what I use.
It's a special one for this. So you can buy it on Take a Lot. It's about 1,600 rands if you want to invest in it. Yes. Yeah. Or you can Google a company called TechGents. TechGents, they've got another one for about 1,100. That's the cheapest. I couldn't get that one because they were now out of stock. But this one is regularly available on Take a Lot. It's about 1,800. So when you plug it in, you don't, this one, the advantage is you don't need any software for it. The moment you plug it onto your computer, it will start working. So can Lungelo allow me, I know it's your meeting, to just share my screen?
Yes, you can,
so
you can.
Show you what I'm talking about.
Yes, you
right?
can,
So
sure.
I'm going to share the whiteboard. There we go. And then when the whiteboard comes up, this, you go and click there on the pen, right? That's my whiteboard. Then I'll have that. Then under draw, I pick that one up, the pen. Then I will now take my pen from the pad and then I can actually start to write. So I can write, I can start to draw triangles. I can do whatever I want now. So I can write all the maths. You can even write words. You can write anything. If you are going to save the board, you will go under save and it will save that whiteboard, right? And when you want to clear, I'll just ask my kids, do you want to clear? Then I'll clear. You can change the pens and use any ink you want, any font you want. If I want to erase something, I'll go on an eraser and erase and then go back, pick up my pen and all those things. If I want to go back to my mouse, I'll pick my mouse back. So it's actually very nice. And you can still see your children on the sidebar. It will still show the faces of the kids on the sidebar. if you want to see them. Right, so this is what I've been using. And I think, because this one is a little bit cheaper, you can actually buy it by yourself. It's about 1,800 Rand, it take a lot. I'll send the name to you.
Won't you write on it what it's called, exactly what it's called, so we can see?
Yes, it's called, I've got the box. It's called a graphics tablet, okay?
Okay.
Yes, it's called a graphics tablet. Right, there it is. So I bought it from Take-A-Lot. Yeah.
I do what Juliet is doing using my tablet. I'm teaching my friend's grandson in Pretoria, and we have a maths lesson every week. And then I teach on my tablet, and when I'm finished a screen, then I save that. That screen then gets saved into the memory. And at the end, I have 5 or 6 screens, which are all the little boards that I've used during a lesson, and then I WhatsApp them to him. And I'm sure this does the same.
Yes, same thing.
What can I just stop us where we are now, and perhaps let's call Lloyd in if we can get hold of him. It seems that the other teachers who say they're coming are either too scared or Lungelo, has anybody else logged in? Have we got anybody else trying to come in?
Currently, we are 12, and there's no one in the waiting room. And the Lloyd.
Okay.
Lloyd, I can't see him now, but he was here later before.
I'll try and send him a WhatsApp. What I would like to do is to just remember Ken while we are all together. And I know it's a small group, but others will watch this video. And what I thought, it's the only time, that opportunity that we're going to have as a Vula group to remember somebody who made such an impression on everybody. So if everybody doesn't mind, I thought let's do that first. And then we can just think about Ken. What I'm going to do is to read some of the tributes that you wrote. I've got 5 pages of tributes in front of me. Here they all are. These are all the beautiful writings that came in from Vula teachers and which have been sent on to Ken's family. And Sue wanted to do something this week, and she said, I need to ask Ken, and he isn't there for us to ask. So I would just like to read some of these. Some of them came from subject advisors, some of them came from teachers. A lot of people just wrote tiny little messages, but I'm going to read these, a few out. Thank you for letting everyone know of the passing of such a very cool maths mentor. I first met Ken in around 2009 with Pila Myandu as one of the stalwarts of the Vula program. He will be sorely missed by all in the mathematics fraternity as a very chilled mentor. Ken had a gift of appreciating the little and finer things in life and paying attention to detail. He loved life. His dedication for the greater good and his warm smile will forever be in our hearts. Vula sessions will never be the same without Ken. He will be forever missed. Morning, Elaine. We heard about your loss. We're extremely saddened by the news. We loved Ken. I personally would talk to Ken about almost everything. I can see him wearing his brown jersey and khaki pants. Oh, man. Ken will be dearly missed. Ken's teaching always had the right balance of theory and practice. His chill attitude towards complex problems inspired many to approach their teaching practices in the field of mathematics. He will be forever remembered by those of us in the maths fraternity. Ken, you may be gone, but your character lives forever. Your servanthood lifestyle shall dwell in our thoughts and hearts till eternity. Thank you for your contribution to our lives at Hilton College. You painted a picture of working without complaining, and thanks for planting the same root in our hearts. Surely we were blessed to share jokes, history, and puzzles with you. Thanks again for allowing us to tap into your reservoirs of rich experience and wisdom. Farewell, Daddy. That was written by Bakani Zulu, who's now a subject advisor, and he was in Vula Group 3. I want to thank Ken. He was such a good man, especially in the kitchen. He made sure the stomach politics was addressed at all times. During our break, we will find the food and tea ready for us. While we were drinking our tea, he would come and drink with us, keeping our minds fresh with old maths, laughing and playing with us. He was very fit, though he was old. We thank him for welcoming us when we first came. He made us feel at home. We also thank him for taking good care of us. We wish him all the best in his journey to heaven. Oh my God, VuMa will never be the same without Ken. I used to enjoy his jokes and his tea time. I remember when he took us for a tour to see the whole Hilton farm, he used to make so many jokes. He had so much knowledge about the history of that place. I even have some pics of the tour. Aish, sad news about Ken. Mr. T, Pythagoras theorem modeling using a rope with knots, installing a whiteboard on the wall. But I will never forget how he made me feel. I was always happy to see him sharing his knowledge and experience. Ken was a true motivator, a down-to-earth person, soft-spoken and always kind and generous, a real gentleman. And so there are many more, but I think those just give you a wonderful picture of somebody that we all loved. And we thank Ken, and we thank Vula for allowing Ken to serve him here, serve Vula here. And I know that Ken probably started out quite unsure of what was expected of him in the initial Vula days, but he soon found a niche and he just became the old man of Vula that everybody loved. So I don't know if anybody else would like to add anything at this stage about Ken. That says it all then. So thank you, everybody. And we do thank God for Ken's input to Vula and all that he helped us to be and do. All right, let's go back to our people who have got all these wonderful advice, wonderful pieces of advice. And the other thing I asked is for teachers to share a good thing and a hard thing that they've experienced during the lockdown and during the difficulties at schools. So is there anybody who's got something they would like to share? Lungelo, maybe you can get on with this and call people in and see what they're going to say. Nobody. Now, we can't have a Zoom meeting with everybody keeping quiet. That won't happen.
You can raise your hand if you want to talk. I'll be able to see it here. Yes, Mrs. Sue?
Somebody WhatsApped today and asked how to draw a log graph on autograph. And I was able to answer him. And he was from VuMa 11. And it was you. And I was so pleased to have some a way I could help, because I'm sitting here trying to help, but I can't do anything because I haven't got any pupils, because you're all teaching and you're all locked down. So I also want you to know that I'm thinking of you. Yeah. So please communicate with me anytime. Yeah. Ask me questions. That's me. Yeah.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks very much.
Here's a message from Lloyd. Sorry. Can I just pass this on?
Okay.
Lloyd says, I'm trying to follow you on Zoom. Our internet service is shocking today. Lloyd is at home. I cannot hear the conversations, just vibrating sounds. Cannot wait for fiber to reach us. Lloyd. So we have Lloyd, and he'll be able to watch the videos afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Lungelo.
Very nice. We have Juliet. Okay, yeah.
I want to give Sue a challenge since she's bored. Don't you want to teach my grade 12s a Euclidean geometry lesson one of these days next week?
Excuse me?
No, I'm saying to Sue,
Excuse me?
Give me, Juliet, give me a ring and we'll talk. Yeah.
All right. Oh, definitely, I will. Sure.
Sorry?
Okay. Can I, because there's currently no one that's speaking, I want to share something that I think is good that's happened. It's for the first time in my teaching career where I have all contacts for parents for my learners in grade 12. And how did I manage to do that? I gave them a pledge where they committed to do their best in the lessons and complete the homeworks because I saw there are those who are not doing what they're supposed to do. Now in the pledge, there was a part for the parents to sign and to comment and to give me their contact details. Let me show you how this pledge looked like and how I managed to get all the contact details for the parents. Because I strongly believe that parents must be part of our business as educators, and we need to keep it in contact with them. So here's the after each pledge, I send a report to the HOD and the principal to read the reports, so that they are also updated of everything that I'm doing. So here's the pledge. So Elena will write the name and then fill all the fields. And then he or she will set a target for mathematics. And then I also committed to do my best so that they pass math with flying colors, and I signed. Then Elena had a portion what he will do, and then a parent, and that's how I managed to get their cell phone numbers. And then the principal signed and put a school stamp as well. Then I have the contacts here.
I think your machine's as slow as mine.
It's me. I don't know what's happening.
It's because you've got it online. One thing I've learned the hard way is to have all my documents on my laptop as well as in OneDrive up in the cloud, because it was so slow trying to work with it from the cloud. It all depends on your Wi-Fi connection, which notoriously in the last 3 months, the Wi-Fi connections have gone down very badly. because so many people are using them. Ours was really efficient beforehand, and now there's some days where I can't even get online.
Okay,
so I keep them on my laptop all the time.
Okay. While that one is loading, let me show you the final report I sent to the principal and the HOD. So out of 46 learners, 45 signed the pledge. And also I sent the SMSs to the parents, thanking them for filling in. With only one learner, of course, we'll have those exceptions, but I'll try to get him and see what's happening there. So learners have set their targets, which I also attached. And those who which I think they won't make it, I will try to teach them separately in a different pace, because I have those who are very struggling in mathematics. So I will try to have a different way for them. Then I managed to get the parents' details as well, and wrote down the target they set. And I made my own target, because I know these learners from grade 10, I know what they can do and what they can't do. So I have those who are very good, and I will try to give them extra work. Those with 70 and above, they can get a learners. And I have a very bright learner, which I think is capable of getting 100%. And I'll make sure that I give her everything that will make sure that that's happened. So to me, this is good, because on Friday, when they had to write a test for calculus, 2 learners ran away while I was away. And when I came back, I got a report that 2 learners are not here. Then I wrote an SMS to their parents, telling them that as soon as schools open, there will be a case of the learners. So they are aware as I speak that their learners were disobedient. They ran away from writing the test, and there will be a disciplinary hearing for that effect. So this, compiling these numbers did help, and I think it will continue to help going forward. That's a good thing that happened that I can share with you.
Well done, Lungelo. It just underlines my whole thing that I've said to so many teachers: keep records, make those kind of moves, contact parents. It makes such a difference, because they know that you are checking up, and that they also know your expectations of them. I think that's lovely. Don't you, Sue?
I think it's fantastic. And one of the things I really liked was that you had the child's expectations of what they would get and the teachers. And I think that should be something that's also in the principal's office. So suddenly you don't get the matric results, and the teacher said you're going to get these, and they're disastrous. Teachers know what their kids are going to get. We have to write down, anticipate what the kids are going to get. And if they got much less, if they got less than 15% below, we had to answer to that. And it's very good. Gives a child also an idea of where they are. And I'm going to put all that in my report at the end of the year to the donors. Thanks, Lungelo.
Thanks.
There's another thing we need to thank Lungelo for. he has actually taken the initiative and registered with Zoom. So he's a step up above the rest of us. We're all using free, I think, and Lungelo has got a license for that. So Lungelo, thank you so much. That is also one reason why he's hosting it today. It's not the only reason. He knows more about it than I do, that's for sure. And he also is able to record what we're doing. So that's really good. Thank you, Lungelo. You've done a lot of hard work. And you helped Simpiwe yesterday afternoon. Hi, Simpiwe. It's lovely to see you again.
Thank you, Elaine. Thanks to see all of you.
Nice to see you in your car.
Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else who wants to share with us? What about you, Simpiwe? You tell us something about the good and the bad of what's happened to you.
Well, let me share this. I had, well, I'm talking to people who are technologically advanced. You can concur to this, that I was really struggling, but I'm better now, Sue. I wanted to draw a circle. I was using GeoGebra. So this is my question to all of you. I was using GeoGebra, but I couldn't draw that circle where the center is not at origin. If anyone can help me now or later, I want us to get that. Drawing a circle, center not at origin, I could not do it with GeoGebra. That is what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Well, we'll try and go on, Sue.
If you're using GeoGebra, then you must ask Elaine, because she uses GeoGebra.
I've forgotten. Simpiwe, what I will do, I will find out for you the best way to do it from Paul de Wet. He's the GeoGebra king around here. So I'll ask him your question, and perhaps we can get him to give us a little bit of a video for that. I have done it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Also, the other thing to do is just Google it. Just put the question into Google.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Thanks you.
Yes, I do that all the time. If I even to know how to use Zoom, I put in how do you work in a Zoom meeting? How do you set up Zoom? Google gets asked at least one question a day by me, and we must use that facility. Thank you, Sue, for reminding us. We forget.
It really works, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lungelo, call somebody else in. Let's see who else is around.
Okay. We have
Molly here.
Yeah, we have Molly, we have Tundabuse, we have Nanzo, we have Mr. Abba, my colleague has also arrived.
Well, let's have some others talking now.
Okay.
Greetings, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Molly.
Hello there.
Yes. I've been, I want to share this, even though it's a repetition, but I've been coping during COVID because I've been using WhatsApp to teach the learners online. For grade 12, most especially, I managed to teach calculus, and then I use, the techniques for SU, and they wrote even tests online. But the downside of teaching online is attendance. The learners either don't sign in due to insufficient, data. So may you please repeat the data plan for school, Juliet? I didn't get it because the phone switched. It's about that, because I'm interested to know about 0%. We have said something like 0%. Thank you.
Molly, you'll be able to watch the video of this Zoom meeting and you'll get the information there.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Is Fazani there?
Volvo keeps on putting his hand up. Ask him what he wants to say. Come on.
Hi. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Right. I need to share my experience regarding the PowerPoint. Yeah. So actually, for those who don't know me, I'm Simpiwe Ngubane. I'm part of Vula 11. Last year, I got promoted. Now I'm a DH at Masjabule High School. So I started working in 2009. Actually, I didn't know anything about the PowerPoint. Then in 2014, 15, 16, I was appointed as a lead educator. So when I started being a lead educator, I used to share the PowerPoints that were created by somebody else, not me. And so I was just the end user. I didn't know how to create the PowerPoint. But in 2018, I get to be part of the NTA's National Teaching Awards. So one of the colleagues taught me how to use the PowerPoint, but not as much as Sue does. Then so in 2019, I attended the Vula. Then so it's where Sue gave us all the strategies in creating the PowerPoint. Thanks to that. So now, yes. So now I have been using PowerPoint from last year, even this year, and I'm now a facilitator at Mkungundlovu. I've worked with Simon Makurumure. We were doing presentations there in Durban for just-in-time workshops. But earlier this year, there was a workshop at Hilton. So I was part of that workshop. Then there were these guys coming from Hilton College, and they showed us something involving the first stone. So the first stone we were having at that moment was the one that we got from Vula, but it wasn't having that video thingy. So the one they introduced to us was having a video recording. Then so that enhanced my teaching, because now I'm able to mix the two, the skill of the PowerPoint, and create a video using that first stone. So what I actually want to share, may you please allow me to share the screen. So I want to share how do I create these videos, because they are very helpful to my kids. So now here is my PowerPoint that I have created. So now I want to create a video from this PowerPoint. So obviously Sue's wine glass must be on now. Now here's Sue's wine glass. So now, or before I do that, I need to have my first stone video recording on first, right? So here is first stone capture. Now there is video, then you click on it, then it's appearing now. Let me put it on this side. So now, so before I record the video, I need to be on my wine glass. Then there we go, we have the wine glass. Then now I go to record. Then it's preparing for recording. Then I'll just start the video recording, a small one to demonstrate. So you press start. We have question 1 here, A. You are asked to determine the equation of the tangent to f at x equal to negative x squared plus 2x plus 2 at a point P1 and 2. So if we want to find the equation of the tangent, we know that the tangent is a straight line. So if we want the equation of a straight line, you must have the gradient first, and you must also have a point. Fortunately enough, we are given the point. You also need to know the formula for finding the equation of the tangent, right? So here how do we find the gradient? So for us to find the gradient, we need to find the derivative of the function. So f prime at x is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Then, so we need the exact gradient at this point P. So at point P, we need to substitute x equal to 1 to find the actual gradient for the line. Then the gradient is f prime at 1, which will be equal to negative 1. Then substituting the point that is given 1 and 2, and the gradient m equal to negative 1 calculated above into the equation y equal to mx plus c, we will have y equal to negative x plus 3 as our equation. Right, now I stop this video. So now I have recorded the video. Once I have recorded the video, then now you have to save the video. It's up to you where you save it, right? So you name your video in a way that you will remember it. Let me call it a demo. So now you press save. Then soon after saving, the video will replay itself. So as now it is playing now, this demo video here. All right, so it's easy like that. Then after doing that, then you take your the video on WhatsApp, then you send to the kids, then they have the video. You can even, it's not only that it's working on the PowerPoint. If you have a soft copy of the textbook, maybe you wish to explain something from the textbook, you open that soft copy, you just record a small video, you send to the kids, then the kids get the information. Even if they ask questions, sometimes to make more clearer, do the writing, I scan what I have maybe the solution, then I scan it, then I put it on the laptop, I put the voice as a video, then I send to the learner. So it's being so helpful for me, especially this time of COVID-19. So it's helpful to the learners. Just unfortunate that not all the learners are part of these WhatsApp lessons. But that's what I'm doing currently with my learners. Hopefully it will help others. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Can I say something about videos? Often when you save them, they're actually quite big in terms of, I don't know what the correct word is, in terms of the size that they are and the megabytes. And you can download a free video compressor, which then reduces them to be smaller. That's what I've done with some of the things on that I put on YouTube. The other thing with the did you notice that yellow dot that was on the screen? Do you use the yellow dot, Simpiwe? That's something that you can use with your mouse to follow where you are showing what you're talking about. Have you used it before?
Yes, I have used it before.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
like, if I can show you some more, I'll send you some of the videos. You'll see when I'm using it.
Yeah.
I was just demonstrating it.
I've also done a little thing like you've done on YouTube, how to use fast stone capture to make a video. Now, let's ask our teachers out there who are not talking, are you making use of what we teachers are sharing with you? How are you using? Lungelio, can you call in some of our teachers? I can't see who's in the room or anything.
You can click on participants down there.
Oh, where do I see that? You see, I told you that I don't know how to use this. Ah, there we go. Right.
My hand is
Nunzuzo,
up.
lovely. Glad you came. I'm just busy saying hi to some of the people that, yeah, I don't recognize all the names, but there we go. Wonderful. Welcome, everybody.
May I say something?
Yes, you can. You can talk.
Honestly speaking, I'm learning about this fast on video capturing for the first time today, sitting here. I never experienced or tried to use it. Now my few questions are, do I need data to make that recording?
No.
Wow. Then it's the
you need the program. You need the program. Now, you are now confessing that you haven't been reading the notes that I've sent out to you, because I've told you all these things. I send out messages. Look on YouTube and you'll see this. And now you're telling me you haven't looked.
that one I missed, and I should confess. I should confess.
You should indeed.
I should.
We got the program via Maritzburg College. You can download it though. You don't need to get it from them. There is a free version. You can also just use the PowerPoint version of recording a video. You don't have to use FastStone Capture. Microsoft PowerPoint has got a facility to record a video from your PowerPoint. Did you know that?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to, there's a wonderful series online on YouTube by a an Indian man from India who is doing how to use various things in PowerPoint. His videos are unbelievable. He gives you all sorts of really good shortcuts and tips, and he does everything just using that. So I'll get the YouTube link and I'll send it out to everybody. Those are the kind of things we're wanting to put on the new website. Well, we do have them on the website, but people say they don't know how to find it and they don't know where it is. And I'm getting the feeling that lots of people don't actually read messages very well. Or they get the message, they think, oh, I'll look at this later, and later never comes.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to do more emailing now, because I think you tend more to take notice of what is in an email and less in a WhatsApp. But there's some of you who follow up on WhatsApp. You are amazing. You can't believe how many people do that. But I know who's going to reply now, and I know who's going to be silent. Yeah.
We have Juliet.
Oh, I wanted to praise the video thing. It's actually very lovely. Now imagine that you mix that with your graphics tablet while you are recording, talking and writing. It will be perfect. I actually loved it. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Pick out somebody else, Lungelo.
Okay. Dlamini is present.
Oh, this is what I'm looking for.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
No, I was just watching. It's amazing what you are doing, guys. Thank you so much. But I want to know from Sue and Elaine that are we still allowed to go by Hilton College if we want to make upgrades to our computers? For instance, mine, I have a new computer now. The one I've got from Vula has been just crashed. So I want to know about the new one, that can you still reload the programs that you loaded for us when we were at Hilton? On my new computer, I can come up with the old one because I know you need evidence as well that we are still keeping it, we are still using it sparingly.
Zippe, sorry.
Shall I answer that, Elaine?
Yes.
We can't put our software, Sketchpad and Autograph, onto a computer that we don't own. So we can't put it on your new computer. What we can put on your new computer is the resources that you had before and which have been updated. But the resources that use Autograph or Sketchpad, you won't be able to do. So you will have to probably learn GeoGebra to make your own resources like that. As far as getting into Hilton College at the moment, I haven't tried, but I think they won't let you in the gate. Elaine, you probably know more. Yeah.
I'm at Hilton this morning. You should be able to see from behind me. I'm in the main room. No, you won't be allowed in the gate. And what I was going to suggest is that I meet people in parking garages. I've handed stuff to teachers, and perhaps I could meet you and bring your laptop and see if we can just download the stuff here. The IT people are extremely busy, and Lloyd is quite hesitant about asking them to give up time to help like that. So it would be something that perhaps Becky and I could do. And I think you can get Geometer, Sketchpad, and Autograph free. There's a free version at the moment. Is there, Sue?
Autograph is still free, but Sketchpad, they've stopped it.
Okay, Autograph you can still get.
Yeah. But as far as the Autograph, I sent out a link, which you should have. And
yes.
You get Autograph. You know, the story part, just to go on with that, if you buy your own computer, we can't put anything onto it. On the other hand, if you give us the money, this is for anybody else, and we buy the computer for you, then officially we own it, so we can put everything on it. It's not really a cheat because we will own it, but we buy it for you at a pretty good price. So next time you have to do something like that, think if you hear of anybody else, just contact us before you buy it. And then it becomes ours and we can put all our stuff on it with our licenses. I think now that you've already bought it, probably what you need to do is to contact Lloyd directly and ask him if there isn't some way that, I don't know, that we can arrange it so that we buy it, or I don't know how to do it, but he might be able to come up with a plan.
The problem, I think, that many people find, Sue, is that when you have a shop like Macro has a special, the computer's equally good to the Hilton one, but sometimes it's as much as 2,000 Rand cheaper. But then that's the short term, that's the cash buy. But then you also have to buy for your laptop the Microsoft Office program. And that, if you buy the programs outright, you're going to pay 1,000 Rand and more for it. Or if you do what I've done, which I did on my home computer, not the Hilton one, I subscribe to Microsoft Office and I pay 120 Rand a month. And that allows me to have 5 laptops. So I've got my children and my grandchildren are using that license, and my husband. And they have that on their computer. That's quite a good way of getting Microsoft Office. If it's for one computer, you pay 70-something Rand a month. And with that, you will get 1 terabyte of storage space in the sky on the OneDrive. So there are extras that you get. If you get the Hilton, like Sue's just explained, then you won't have that terabyte. You would have to pay something for that. You need to sit down and work out the pros and the cons, but the thing that you all want from the Hilton computers is the resources, and you should be able to get that off your old laptop or off somebody else's laptop who's been at Hilton. Those are not licensed things. It's the licensed things that we can't help you with, like Microsoft Office and Geometer, Sketchpad, and Autograph. You can buy those licenses yourself. Individual licenses are generally not terribly expensive. So you need to think about that yourselves and weigh up what is the best thing for you. Am I right there, Sue? I think that's kind of how it works.
Yeah. You see, what we sort of thought was that our computer that you get from VuMa, from Vula, will last about 3 years, and then you would have to replace it yourself. We never thought about the fact that our licenses with Sketchpad and Autograph you wouldn't be able to use. We didn't plan for that, I'm afraid. Yeah.
But people have got to work out how they want it to work for themselves. Yeah. And I think that if you move to GeoGebra, which is free and where you can get all sorts of training online. If you download GeoGebra, you can go in and say how to do this, how to do that. People have material, they have videos showing you how to make it work. So it's not that you're going to be dumped in the ocean and left to swim on your own. There's a lot of stuff that you can find. And you can also use GeoGebra for algebra. There are other programs that you can use. The Desmos is another excellent one, and the kids can use Desmos for free on their phones. I think it's a wonderful program. So when you think about these things, this is why having a discussion like today is very useful, because we hear what others are doing and perhaps what the best thing is for you to do. But the bottom line is that Vula has given you a vision. Sue gave you a vision for what you can do with your laptop and what you can do in your classroom. And you've got to make it work in the best way for your school, for your circumstances. And the replacement of a laptop, you can't expect your laptop to last for 6 years. It's not going to do that. And eventually it's going to give up. And you've got to set up a sinking fund. Do you all know what a sinking fund is?
Yes.
Only in this sinking fund is not going to have any, you won't get a trade-in, although there are places who will take your old laptop. They don't give you much for them, so I wouldn't waste my time. Often it's better to buy a new laptop while there's still a little bit of life in the old one, because then your kids can learn to use it. And you've got to set up that fund, and you've got to then buy yourself, see your way forward to buying a new laptop. Yeah, I've met teachers in town from the grade 7 group that comes on a Saturday morning and gone with them to Macro to help them choose something suitable. And did you see the special on data projectors at the moment? If you're needing a data projector, for Pete's sake, get to Macro. They've got a brilliant offer at the moment. Speak to your school principal. Yeah. Okay, so you're all going to go home and set up a sinking fund now.
we have Thandogusema Mahlase.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Morning,
everybody.
You don't need to do the floor. Nobody's been in here.
For starters, I would like to say thank you for the invite. This is very enlightening, you know. I was in VuMa this year, VuMa 13. There's a lot of things that I've learned. I've learned a lot of things. Thank you, Sue, Elaine. You've been parents to us, taking us step by step, teaching us really. We knew how to use computers, but we only use them for fun, typing only Word. Now we go to class and we're actually having fun. The kids were excited. When I got back to work, unfortunately, this coronavirus is a problem. It's a big problem.
Yeah.
I'll make an example for you. In my school now, the classes are divided. My grade 11s came through and I had to teach 4 classes. 4 classes now. For the first class, maybe at 8 o'clock, I put in my projector, set it up. And for the second class, then I will take 10 minutes. 10 minutes just to set up, because I need to take the board from the other class and put it to the other class. And it is really a problem. It is a problem. Another thing which is actually fun now at school, we do have a projector, and some young teachers, they're actually now teaching using computers now, laptops and projectors. And I think that is fun, because they ask me, what do I do? What do I do? I tell them that every day after work, I go home, I just do my lessons. I prep, I do my PowerPoints. I try to make sure that everything I'm going to need for that day is there. So that helps me in a way that as I'm prepping, I'm learning. So I'm sure that in class, I'll be ready for everything, for every question. And I told them that this is another way of you prepping. You prep thoroughly rather than just writing a lesson plan, assuming how long it's going to take. You are prepping. You are actually going through a lesson as you prep, especially when you're using these PowerPoints, you know. Yeah. Driving me to another thing, not to say, not in a bad way or anything, I'm just saying, I'm currently doing my honors degree, and I have a research paper that I need to write. And me going to Hilton in the VuMa program, that helped me to actually come up with the topic that I want to talk about. And it is called Anxiety in Technology Education, in ICT education. Now, I'm trying to actually find out what are we scared of? Is it the technology, or is it spending more time now prepping? So that is my basis for my research, and I'm starting it. I'm supposed to start it today, but I'm gonna do it later on today. So that is my topic, and it is driven by me going to college, to Hilton College, and attending VuMa. So just want to thank everybody a lot. I've seen a lot of things, the fast on videos. I promised my kids that I'm gonna be making videos for them during this lockdown. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. So starting from next week, I'm going back to work, and we're doing more videos, and we're teaching using technology, guys. It's time for us to move in that direction, really. And I would encourage you to please encourage everybody to start using technology, because now there is this program called Teams that is being used in universities. Now, if you are from a school where you've never ever used technology, all you know is WhatsApp on your technology, on your cell phone, you are really going to have a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Even this, data is very expensive, but I think maybe we can encourage the kids and parents to really try, and we use the board here. Parents can see that we are really trying to help their kids, so they will try and make means. I know money is a problem. They will try and make means. Like today, I just saw, I didn't know that Zoom had that program for a board, you know. Now I know. Now I'm gonna use that instead of using Teams, because Zoom is cheaper compared to Teams. So I'm going to be using this now. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. All of you who are here today filled in the form I sent out. Have any of you used Google Forms to get information from your children? I think we must do a session on Google Forms because it's just so easy. You can even set a test on it and get them to answer and send in their answers to you. We must have a little try.
Okay.
I use it a lot, Elaine. I use it
Do
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, because like I told you that my school is a Google school. So the people from Google actually came to our school 2 years back to train us on how to form and how to do Google Sheets and Google Slides. So we use that at school every time. All the information is on a Google form. We don't circulate paper. Yeah.
You can also, I've been getting a feed from a blog called Free Tech for Teachers for about 10 years. And the man who runs that, Richard Byrne, lives in Maine in the United States. And he's a world-known Google teacher. And he has little videos of how to do all these things that Juliet's talking about. And we need to share these resources. I think that if you find a really good resource on YouTube, send me the link. We can't have the website with everybody putting any old thing on. So it has to come through somebody, and Lloyd and Sue have asked me to do that. So if you find a good link, you just have to WhatsApp it to me or email it to me, and then I look at it. And if I think that it's really worthwhile, then we put it onto the website. So Juliet, maybe you can share some of the stuff that you've found there, and I will share stuff that I've found. But the other thing that I've noticed is that the young man sitting, who's organized our Zoom today, Lungelo, he keeps me going on what are they called? Webinars. How many have we managed to look at, Lungelo? We've had about 4 that we've attended.
Yeah, about 4.
There were some very good ones, very interesting.
Yeah.
And Sue, I don't know if you logged into that one on the beautiful maths thing. That was incredible. Did you watch that one, Lungelo?
Yes, I did. The one with the
Fibonacci.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. And what I've noticed is that in taking part in them, we hear new things, we hear old things. We find ourselves being encouraged, and we also have a vision for where we can be going. And I think that we shouldn't let ourselves be bogged down where we are. Like, I'm so impressed with what Lungelo's done with sending out the letters to the parents, and others of you preparing your lessons, even though all your children can't take part. The fact is that you are showing what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think that, and what can be done, and our parents are seeing what can be done. And the children are seeing what can be done. And you are enriching yourselves and them in an amazing way. And I think that as you guys on the ground are making it happen, I think these are the kind of things that will perhaps wake up the governments to being a bit more generous with data for people. Our data is sold in a very funny way. I've read a lot about this because it's one of the things that makes me angry in life, is the way we discriminate against people who can't afford things. And you will get little bits of data for a short time, very, very cheaply. But the minute you want to have a steady supply of data, you are going to pay one of the highest amounts in the world. And that, I think, is totally unfair. Why must you buy a gigabyte and it only lasts 1 day? Why can't it last 2 days? Why must you pay for so much and it only lasts for an hour? What sense is that? And I think that these are things that you are up against and which need to be addressed. I don't know how, but I think that the more people who are doing something, the more the attention is brought to the need that there is. And a lot of people are writing about this and commenting on Facebook and on in the newspaper and on WhatsApp. You get an Instagram. Lots of people are talking about it. So I think that if Lungelo, if you can keep sharing those webinars that you have got, that you found out about, and others too, if you find something that you think will interest us, then I send it out to everybody. And then if they want to log in and listen to the webinar, I found them so interesting. I listened to one from UCT on finances in the country. It was brilliant. And then we've had ones from those 3 schools. We've had ones about anxiety during the lockdown. What else have we had, Lungelo? There was one that I missed because I had 2 things at once. Yeah.
There was one from Yonisa about teaching online.
That's right.
There is another one today organized by Zoom on how to use Zoom to teach online, but we can't attend it because we have arranged this meeting. But fortunately, they promised to send the link to the recording because it's recorded as well.
Yeah. So we can share that link. We will share it with you, and then you can go online and attend. It's really just watching the video of what's happened.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. That would be great, Lungelo.
Can I say something, Lungelo?
Yep.
I think that the one thing we've learned about this, or learning about this crisis, that technology is fantastic, but the most effective teachers are in the classroom with the technology. rather than online.
Exactly.
I think it's very reassuring that we need the kids and the kids need us. And that's the bottom line.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm tutoring, as I said, my friend's grandson, and I did a lot of tutoring at Michael House before I came here to the opposition. And the personal contact is 50% at least of the success in teaching somebody. But even if you're not, I try to keep in touch with the person that I'm tutoring online. He lives in Pretoria. Just by sending little funny comments and talking about other things and photos that I've seen on his WhatsApp and various other things. It's the personal touch that is another 25%, but your own personality and your own warmth and the response that you give, the personal response, is so important. And that also that was one of the things they talked about in the anxiety webinar. It's one of the things that alleviates anxiety is the personal and the personal being in the presence of a teacher, and the presence that you have together relieves the anxiety a huge amount.
Can I say something? I think that is very true, because when I started teaching online, I noticed that most of the girls were not even participating. So our first lessons were actually very weird, because I'm a loud teacher. I make a lot of noise in my next lessons. I do all nonsense in my classroom. So first, when we started online, it was so weird, because I would want them to talk and they'll just keep quiet. They were afraid. But later on, if you come into our lesson now, it's a totally different world, because now they are a bit more comfortable with it. So they just, when I'm talking, they'll just unmute and say, please, can you do that again? And then sometimes we just share jokes. So I can do a 50-minute lesson, but in that 50 minutes, not all 50 minutes have been used in teaching. I will start by asking them, how are they doing? And so, what is happening? And then they'll share and all those things. Then after that, we get into our lesson. Then here and there, I'll break up and do some jokes with them and laugh together. Actually makes it a little bit easier. And you can see now that the kids are getting into it. They're actually now requesting for me, oh, ma'am, can we have a lesson tonight? I'm like, because they are now enjoying to be online. So I think it just needs them a little bit of more time. The more time they spend online, the better. And also, I just wanted to say, I want to say thank you to VuMa, because I was VuMa 5. Yeah, VuMa 5. And when I went to VuMa, that time, I think it was 2016, I was actually going through some things in my life. So it wasn't really, it was a good experience to me, but I had some issues. So I wasn't really myself there, like myself, the Juliet. I think I was a little bit reserved, a little bit something else. But what I want to say is, when I came out of there, it turned my life around, because I went to VuMa when I was not in a Model C school, former Model C school. Then from VuMa, with that experience from VuMa, I ended up at Girls Eye, which I never thought in my life would happen. But simply they took me because of the technology experience that I actually got from VuMa, because I didn't know anything. So, when I went for my interview, I was actually asked to teach. And I just went on with my SUS PowerPoints, and they were so they were actually amazed. And because when we were at VuMa, we used to play with that smart board there in the room. So it was Zippe, doing all the jokes, because I was with Zippe's group. And it actually helped me. So I'm actually very grateful for this program. And I hope that most people, hopefully as many as possible, must be able to be given that opportunity Because when we get out there, it's like we are very confident. They see me as a very confident teacher because when I got there, I could use Sketchpad and most teachers couldn't. I could use Autograph and most teachers couldn't. So it was like, you know, I'm something else, but it was all because of VuMa. And I'm actually very grateful because I know a lot just because I started from there. And it has given me a lot of platforms. Actually, I teach with Maths Clinic now from Cape Town. I do their lessons online. I do their lessons physically. And all these opportunities came up because of VuMa. So I'm actually very grateful about this program, actually. So I always talk about Sue in my lessons. And Anne came to visit me when I was at Girls High. And it was fun. So yeah, so I'm actually very, very grateful for that opportunity that was given to me. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Whilst on that, you indeed saying the truth. I want to say this. You guys are actually producing the best teachers around here. It's only that maybe we're not following track of what we are doing or what we have been doing. But if you look around, you really are producing the best teachers who are willing to stretch and produce results. And indeed, this VuMa Vula project is working and is producing excellent teachers. Thank you.
For me, the most exciting thing is listening to what everybody's doing and how you're all growing. Many teachers have decided to sit where they were when they left Vula. And they're chugging along, they're sitting there, but talking to others of you, and not only people who are here today, I'm absolutely amazed at the strides that you've taken forwards and the initiative that you're showing. And we've had 1, 2, 3 VuMa teachers that I can think of straight away who have been promoted to HOD, Simpiwe, Lutando, Blessing, and there are others that are being used to do workshops for other teachers, and that's also absolutely great. And each one of you in your own way has improved what is happening where you are at school. I know that some of you are in schools where there are difficulties and where it's hard for you. But on the whole, everybody is making steps forward. And I just get so excited when I phone you and I hear all these things. It's just wonderful because you are the leaders of the future. Out of you are going to come the people who are going to be training teachers. I was talking to somebody from Durban and he said, I want to get on and do my honors and my masters. So I said, what are you going to do with it? He said, I'm not too sure. I said, what are you going to do it in? He said, no, maths education. So I said, well, you must then become the trainer of maths teachers. And that's where the influence of VuMa is spreading, because each one is teaching others and inspiring others. Out of your children, we hope will come maths teachers. Don't you, Sue? Those will be the VuMa grandchildren.
I don't know about my granddaughter. She doesn't know her tables yet. Can I say something, though? I mean, I'm very envious, as you know, of Elaine, whose job it is to keep in contact with you. But when I listen to you chaps talking, I realize that you've gone beyond where you were when you left.
Absolutely.
And you've gone beyond me. And for me, that is the most exciting thing. And I've been writing down people's names here and saying, bring them up and find out, or bring her up and find out how to do so-and-so. And that's we're all together, we're all learning together. I mean, I'm just about to say to my husband, I need something from Takealot, you know, and I'm just about to ring Simpiwe and say, okay, now tell me how you do this you do your voiceover thing. And it's very heartwarming, and you can see why Elaine and I love our job so much, even though we're so old and you are so young. You'd have to pay us to stop. And I think about I'm saying thank you to you chaps for
yes.
grabbing the opportunity. And when the lockdown is over, you must come and see Vula Lodge 2, because Lodge 2 is going to be finished in September. And we're hoping that next year we will go back to normal again. Ha, ha, ha.
What's normal? I've been trying to persuade Sue to run an online VuMa, but she's been a little bit scared. So maybe you telling her today all that you're doing, she might be a little bit more.
It might have to be an online VuMa next year if we can't open up.
Yeah, we've had a lot of teachers that want workshops. I'm going to send you out the statistics of the replies that you sent in. They were very interesting. And I'd like to have another session like this where we talk about some of the things that you raised. So yeah, you'll get them. I've been analyzing them. It's taken a bit of time, but it's been worth it. And one of the good things that's come out has been the Zoom meeting, and another one is going to be the changing of the website and the need for it. A lot of people have asked for that. But again, the biggest thing that people want is workshops. That was the one that came up the most. So I've been working with the other ladies that help, and we're going to have to do something online. We're talking about it, but it's got to be done. We're trying to do it in a cost-effective way in terms of data and how it can work. So we're getting there.
You know that, Elaine, the other one that is much better to use, which is more cheaper in terms of data, a bit more efficient, it's actually Google Meet. Right now, it's free.
Yes.
And it do a maximum of about 250 participants. But even if your signal is not very good, with Google, you can go through an hour teaching with no problems at all. Because I've noticed with me, when I'm teaching on Zoom, if my signal is not on 2 bar or whatever, Zoom will kick you out of the meeting. But with Google Meet, I'm teaching and there's only 1 bar. I can actually teach for the next 1.5 hours with no issues at all. So I think you must also have a look at it. It's actually a very nice one as well.
All right, Juliet, you're on for the next session that we have. Maybe you can host the next one and we can do it using Google Meet so people can see the differences. Everybody needs to do the one that they're comfortable with. And I know I meet with a group once a week or once every 2 weeks, and we use Google Meet. I must say, though, that on Wednesday night when we were meeting, my signal was so terrible, I couldn't hear what they were saying. So that is a problem. The signal is a problem wherever you are and at the time of day. And the worst time of day is between about 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 8:30, 9 at night. It's terrible. You can't hear or see anything because everybody's online, and our data providers do not have sufficient data to make it go around. They don't have enough signal to make it go around. And a lot of them have offered free this and free that. So everybody's busy watching Netflix and this and that and the next thing. And that draws takes away from those who are trying to do other things. But during the day, Google Meet would be a good idea.
But you know that Google Meet also, Elaine, in case you can't hear people nicely, it has got that feature of writing what people are saying for you.
Oh, okay. Juliet, I think are we all agreed that the next meeting we'll do Google Meet, and Juliet will, if Juliet wouldn't mind showing us how that works. Who would like that? I think it might be quite useful for everybody.
Good idea.
Yeah, okay. Juliet, I'll phone you and talk to you about that. And can I ask another question? Because we really do need to think about stopping. We've been going for an hour and a half, which is great. When should we have another one? How often should we try and meet? I think once a week is too often. Maybe once a month is not often enough.
Also, you need to think about the time because everybody's going to be back teaching quite soon.
Yes, that's right. Well, maybe, I did. Yeah. Sue, what I did when I phoned everybody, I asked them what time of day was best for them. And I think that is going to be it's not a problem, it's something we have to work around. Most of the women said 4:30. Most of the men said 6 o'clock. So we might have to have different ones. And I think that also would be helpful in terms of manageability. So we'll talk about it. And what I would like you to do after today is to please send me an email about how you felt, what you learned. Should we do it again? Do you think it's a waste of time? All those kind of things. If you could just email me or WhatsApp me, or Lungelo, if you could do that, that would help us in setting up another one. And also something which you could share, like we had Simpi, where we've had Juliet, we've had Lungelo, and others telling us how they're doing things. We need to share those ideas. And if you could let me know if you know how to do something, even if it's a little tiny thing that you've tried in the classroom that works well, let us know, because this is how we all learn from each other.
While you were talking, Elaine, I got something on my phone, and it's the post-COVID test, August 2020, from KwaZulu-Natal. And one of the things they ask is, differentiate between a vertical line test and a horizontal line test. So maybe as a final thing, you could tell us somebody could tell me what a horizontal line test is. Anybody know?
No.
Horizontal line test.
Yes, we do.
For maths, right?
What is it, Simon? Simon, what's a horizontal line test?
The vertical line test, you want to test whether I would differentiate the two. Let's start with the vertical line test. It is testing whether your function is 1-to-1 or
many to
one.
Vertical line.
That's a vertical line test. Now the word. The horizontal line now is now testing whether your function now has an inverse, which is a function itself.
One thing that I found, can I share this? Go on.
Did I put it correctly?
No. A vertical line test is testing whether it's a function or not. The relation is a function or not. Then the horizontal, if it's a function, what type of a function?
Yeah, that's exactly. Now the type of a function will tell you whether that function is an inverse, which is also a function, or it's just a relation.
That's it.
So yes, you are right.
Yes.
What I would like to know is if people really understand what the jargon flattening the curve means. And what I started doing when I go onto a site called Media Hack, and they have all the COVID statistics, and I started at the beginning to set up the equation, the exponential equation of what was making the what it was and how the shape was. And I found that very interesting. And my husband said, what do they mean flattening the curve? So I showed him what it meant. And I hear people online and on the news saying, we're flattening the curve. And I thought, do you actually know what you're doing? What does it mean? And that would be a good question to ask your classes, because what does it mean? Do we know what it means? Have we sat and explored? And you can make a lovely exponential equation out of it, taking the number of infected cases over the time and the rate at which it's changing. And it's actually not changing very much at all. It's just going, the X value is just increasing. And as the X increases, so does the Y. That would be a really practical thing to get your kids to try out, just for fun.
Yeah.
Yes, Elaine.
I'm in there. One of the things I'm working on is a little sort of 3-lesson module on exponential functions, which is related to the COVID curve. And I've got a little thing at the beginning where kids stand up and they sit down, and how the infection rate changes and the flattening the curve. So I'm hoping in about 10 days' time, I'll send it out to everybody. And maybe you could just use some of it to talk to your kids about COVID, because it's, as you know, we're all very frightened of it. And to make it perhaps more real. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we've had a number of, yes.
Can we relate, I see the exponential one, but can we relate the flattening of the curve to the ogive?
You could, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could, yeah.
Because the shape of the ogive, yes.
I think for years to come, our exam papers and our tests are going to be based on COVID statistics.
Exactly.
The other thing that worries me terribly is the way these statistics are just spewed out, and people believe that at the beginning, when the Western Cape had the highest number of infected cases, and then they go on and tell you that the hot spot is here and there. Well, of course they're going to be the hot spots. They've got the most people. And the way the statistics are being interpreted is completely out of sync with how you do it. If you've got a province that's got 1 million people living in it and a province that's got 10 million people living in it, of course the province with 10 million is going to have more infections.
Yeah.
And to look at this, to look at the percentages is so much more interesting. And the scary thing that my husband walks every morning with a friend who's a pharmacist, and he said that the thing that worried him most was the death rate, because he went back and he started comparing, long before they gave us these statistics, he started comparing the natural death rate that does not include violence and car accidents, the general death rate from the last 2 or 3 years to this year, and this year is much higher. And yet those are not COVID deaths. Those are not, people are saying it's, and I don't know if you understand what I mean, there's an excess death rate that's just quite high at the moment. It's about 17,000. And of those, only 4 are registered as COVID, direct COVID deaths. What has caused the other 12? And I think that for many medical people, they're saying that COVID infected people are not registering, or they're not down as death due to COVID. And we've still got to be very, very careful. We can't just assume that because our death rate is showing up as very low, that it is low. It's not low. And we've had teachers. I was talking to a teacher on a phone the other day, and I phoned him and I said, "How are you?" And he said, "I'm sick and I'm in an absolute panic. I don't know what to do." And to talk to somebody who's suddenly realized that they've tested positive and what the outcome might be for him was really very hard. He was worried about his wife and his children, and I phoned him twice again, and he's fine now. He's absolutely fine, and he's realized, and we have had Vula teachers who've had COVID and recovered. We haven't had, I don't think we have lost anybody in Vula from COVID. Just one teacher lost a child, and that was very hard for her. So we have to keep the reality of it, and I agree with Sue. I'm so glad you're doing that, Sue, because it means that while you're teaching, you are able to teach the children the truth of what is happening and what this disease can do.
Yeah.
Some of our cellular functions that are going to happen with our cells, like they need movement, so that may be a possibility of the cell. So the cell can move in a couple different ways. Maybe it's a cell that is going to create.
Since I don't see anyone talking now, it's a moment of silence. I don't know why.
I can hear a voice.
I would like to take this opportunity. and say thank you to you, Lou, for organizing such a wonderful meeting. To you, Elaine and Sue, and the team at large for having such this meeting. It's so very having most fascinating information, of which you know, I've been trying to have workshops in my school. I've started yesterday. We were having a meeting with the SMT, and I was trying to show them how to create these videos so that we can maybe almost all of us at school do this thing. So they were very interested, and they asked me to do the workshop to the whole staff. So on Tuesday I'll be doing the workshop for the staff, and now I'm feeling very happy that now I had to use the free video compressor, but I will liaise with Elaine to help me with that one, so that I'll put it in my workshop too. So I'm very glad to be part of the team and to work with you guys. It's very, very much helpful. We gained a lot of information from Juliet. Thanks, Juliet, for sharing with us. I think we'll need you more when it comes to this zero-rated data thing and the creation of Moodle. But yeah, thank you very much. Then there is Mr. Dlamini. Mr. Dlamini, we still have another method of sketching graphs. We have a program called Graph you can go to Google and download Graph. Then it's helpful when it comes to sketching graphs. So I'm using both the autograph as well as the graph. Most of the times when I'm typing papers, I use Graph because it's easy to take the graph from Graph and put it on the on weight. But for teaching, when I'm showing graphs on the whiteboard, I use the autograph. So I'm using both of them. Tandogutle, I'm very happy that you are doing now the honors. So that's very good. It's encouraging to even to others that we must continue with our studies. I like that you are doing the research, the one you have enlightened us about. I think the most thing, according to my point of view, people are scared of technology. They are very, very scared. Actually, we are scared of change. So yeah, that's the main problem with people. So as people who have used technology and who are engaging with it mostly in our daily basis, we need to try and get other people involved in technology, because we are in a 4IR now, so everybody must be involved in technology. So it's a good research. I like it. Yeah, thank to all of you guys. Thank you.
Can I say something here? Did you notice that Simpiwe had made notes while we were all talking? He picked up on what different people had said, and that's also quite critical when you are teaching. If you're teaching a lesson, to keep a note of the children who say different things so that you can come back and address that. Thank you, Simpiwe, that was great.
Thank you. Thanks.
And thank you to Lungelo. Lungelo, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lungelo.
Really appreciate that, your effort today, and you hosting it.
Oh, yes, thanks.
At your cost, thank you. That's really, we really do appreciate that. Yeah. Sue, for joining us. It's lovely to see you, and I think that has given everybody a lift. And it's good to see. In case you don't know, Sue had to have surgery on one of her legs this week, and she's not. She had
next to me.
Pardon?
There's my wheelchair.
She has to sit in a wheelchair for a week.
So for a week, yeah.
So we're very grateful. I think that wheelchair you're sitting in is magnificent.
Thank you, everybody. It's been so nice to see everybody again. I'm looking forward to the next meeting.
Thanks. Fisani, do you want to say something? Fisani is raising hand here.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I would like to thank my colleague for inviting me to this Zoom meeting, even though I don't have anything to share with you guys. Unfortunately, I never been like in the VuMa program. So, but I've gained a lot of things to share in the meeting. Hopefully, I'll be like learning a lot of you. Thank you for meeting. Thank you for meeting you all. Thanks.
But you've been to our grade 7, you've been to our Saturday workshops. I must say that Lungelo School is amazing. They have the most supportive HOD of all the HODs I've met. And Fixall comes to the Vula Saturday morning workshop. So it was lovely to see you.
Thanks.
All right, so we're all going to say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. It was great. Nonzuzo, thank you for coming.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Now you click on leave. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are leaving now.
We are leaving. Get well soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you.